This is a HEadGum podcast.
It feels like it's been like a week since our last episode.
Honestly, like a lot of things have just happened in between episodes.
This is such a busy week, man. Thanksgiving happened. Fantastic Beasts we got to see. We were down by the shore. The Gilmore,
The Gilmore, yes.
That's the whole episode, basically.
Yeah. This is Coffee with Crachel, by the way.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Chris, and yes.
I'm hungover as fuck, and I got cramps, so honestly,
get
ready for that.
It's something. Yeah, we just came back from hanging out with Bree and her parents at her parents' house. We spent the night, and we had a lot of fun.
Weekend.
Hanging out, and we saw Fantastic Beasts, which, I mean, we could talk about that in the next episode just a little bit.
We'll still give timestamps for spoilers, just for the people that haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, but we'll talk a little bit about that one. Probably not like an episode's worth of talking.
No, I don't have enough for that one.
Yeah, but Gilmore, we definitely do, and that is the topic of today's discussion.
Cool. And so we're going to have spoilers. Like, there's no way that I would be able to talk about this without spoilers. Lila is very vocal about spoilers as well.
We're gonna have both original series spoilers and also revival spoilers. So, like, if you don't want to get spoiled on anything, I just wouldn't recommend
listening to this episode.
I'll have the timestamps still for when we talk about this stuff in the description, but, like, just in general, it's probably just gonna be Gilmore and then binge time. So, like,
don't listen if you're not ready.
Question time is also Gilmore questions.
Yeah.
So, like, it's
so this is your warning. Please don't get mad at me. You're listening right now. You're not following the rules.
Yes, it is spoilers. I
am very excited because I liked that I got to watch it and I put my phone on airplane mode and we were fucking crazy. So the show came out at 12 a.m. and we literally...
it was actually like right on the nose at 12 a.m.
Yeah,
Pacific
some
time.
shit has been late before.
Yeah, I forget what we were waiting for. Like, the last thing we were waiting for on Netflix, and it was late.
Yeah, I don't know. But either way, we watched it all. We were probably up until, like, 7 a.m.
Yes.
Because we would, like, pause in between each episode and, like, discuss things. And we wanted to keep, like, some list of ideas of things that we wanted to remember to talk about. Because I definitely need to watch it another time through before I can really cement my total feelings. Mm-hmm. But I've had, like, a whole weekend now to, like, think about it.
Digest. Of course,
I've gotten other people's opinions.
Yeah, had conversations, talked about it all, really thought about what we all saw, because like we said, we saw it all in one go.
And it's like 6 hours of content, very quick. So
like, there's been things that, like, you know, during the process of it, I forgot, and then we've talked about it again, and then brought up. So, like, there's just, like, a lot of nuances that happened.
Like reading the Reddit page, you know, for Gilmore Girls, and just talking to people and reading what people are saying on Twitter, though it's really hard to find tweets that aren't just like, excited to start Gilmore Girls revival.
Exactly.
When you search it, that's all you see, because I feel like people are being more specific about each character when they're talking about stuff.
So before we get into Gilmore, let's do some coffee stuff. Yeah. So we're just drinking, honestly, a random coffee that we have in our cabinet. We don't have any new ones to test out right now.
I probably shouldn't have even, like, been drinking this, but I'm just so fucking tired.
Yeah, we were up really, really late last night. We woke up early.
We have a new addiction now. Brie introduced us to the show called Baggage on GSN, which is Game Show Network. It's a Jerry Springer, like, late night show. And, like, if you want to watch trash, it's great.
It's like, good trash TV. Like, it was fantastic. The worst
thing, but also the best thing I've ever watched. Anyway.
So, yeah, we just have this coffee, and...
If you want to send us a coffee from wherever you live and you're listening to this from, you can always send it to our P.O. Box, which is on our website, which is CoffeeWithChrachel.net. And it's also in the Twitter bio for CoffeeWChrachel.
Oh, my God.
You get me. You fucking know what I'm saying, bitch. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you all had a fantastic holiday, by the way.
Yeah, we had a good time. We had our delicious food, and it all turned out well, except for the mushroom gravy that we bought at the store.
Yeah, it was gray, and that was just hard to get past. I've had mushroom gravy that was not that horrible color.
Yeah, exactly. So the fact is more about caffeine than it is about coffee, but still. Caffeine is found in more than 60 plants. It's not just coffee beans. Tea leaves, cola nuts, which flavors colas, and cocoa beans all contain caffeine. The stimulant is found naturally in leaves, seeds, and fruits of a wide variety of plants. It can also be man-made and added to products.
What kind of fruits give you caffeine?
Yeah. I'd be interested to see like a full list of like what has caffeine in it.
Maybe we'll do that for next episode.
Yeah.
We'll try to find stuff. Some natural shit. Because I'm not here trying to promote like Red Bull or any other like crazy ass energy drink. Like fuck that.
One of the other facts that I remember that we read was that like the decaf, like they take the caffeine out of it and then they sell that to like put into like energy drinks and stuff. So like I don't know if that's still technically natural. It's gone through some shit, so I don't trust it.
I'd feel better being like, this strawberry really pepped me up.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'd be more into that.
Yeah, and then just before we get into it, again, gift exchange, guys. You know,
it is happening. Get your gifts. Make sure you mail them out by December 9th.
Yes, I feel like that's this like a week from today. I think
it's coming
honestly up. That's probably a lie. I don't know exactly.
We don't know where we are in the calendar right now because it's like that post Thanksgiving, not quite December blur.
Yeah, it was like almost like a 4-day weekend until like I'm just like, oh my god, tumbling down Tumblr over here in December.
I don't know. Either way, I'm descending into nothingness, so it's fine.
Okay, so
let's just hop into
a year in the life.
1 year.
Let's just, I guess, say overall,
if you had to rate it.
If you had to rate it, and are you pleased?
Okay.
I am going to say I gave this a 4 out of 10. Ooh. I'm not.
It's like I agree with you, but my overall love of the show makes me bump it to a 6.
Yes.
But I'm definitely shook. I would definitely say that's my actual opinion is like I didn't have expectations because I knew that I trusted the writers because they were the originals and the producers. Yeah. I really trusted that they knew
most people back.
Exactly.
You know? And also like the promotional footage
looked awesome.
Really was getting me into it, like, oh man, it looks like they actually really did this. And you know, like Netflix,
the Instagram, the Twitter, like the trailers, of course, what they did with Luke's Diner, like popping up.
Yeah, Netflix
they did really great job with that.
Full House with Fuller House, and like that, I did not like that as compared.
That flopped.
Yeah, so like you know,
but I didn't think like Fuller House didn't have the stakes as this, as well as like Fuller House had its own quirk.
Because like Full House is one of those really
iconic
like shows. Yeah, like I feel like it did have that kind of feel.
But it's like at least with that, like you know that like there's not a lot of unanswered questions, you know? It's just kind of like what's the natural route we can give these characters to be doing in the future.
Yeah.
Gilmore Girls, it was like
there was unanswered questions.
There were unanswered questions, and there were things that we knew.
The characters are more deep than they were on Full House.
Yeah, like, the relationships are deeper. Like, it's just a deeper show. It's not even similar, but...
So, I'd have to say, though, that, like, if I had to choose, I would choose this not existing over it existing.
Yeah, I feel as though that, like, it doesn't hold up to the original series. And while I am extremely happy about some things,
yes,
I think the amount of plot holes and cringe didn't, and just like some things that I didn't like, you know, there's those things, but there's also some things that I just really didn't like their take on things, I guess, which is fine.
Something, like, we'll get into...
We have a whole list of, like, the pros and the cons, basically.
But we're going to start off with positive things. Like, what did we enjoy about this?
Did it not feel, like, wonderful to see Stars Hollow so perfectly replicated?
Knowing that, like, the sets were destroyed, and then, like, it did not look like it. Like, they looked like they were real. Like,
they did such an amazing job with the sets, and... just the amount of people they managed to get on board for this, even if they were only in it for a fleeting moment. Like, I really appreciated all of the effort that was put in to make it feel so authentic. And that's why I was so disappointed with some of the performances of some of the characters where that didn't feel authentic, but, like, the setting felt so authentic.
Yeah. And so... most people's acting on this, like 99% of people were like...
fell right back into their characters.
I think some of the standouts are Emily and
Emily
Luke.
Gilmore was probably my favorite part of it.
Yeah, Emily Gilmore was my favorite part of this entire revival. Like,
yeah,
I think
because they actually did a lot with her character. And while I loved Luke, and I thought Luke was like just as if nothing had passed, no time... I felt really disappointed with what they gave him to work with.
Exactly.
But he fell into it perfectly, and so did most of the, like, charming people like Kirk and Taylor and Babette and all of these other characters that had more minor roles. They were able to, like, snap back in, like...
Yes.
Perfectly. So I really loved that.
To go along with, like, with Emily, like, the whole conflict between Emily and Lorelai was, like, really... like natural. It seems like something that would have happened fitting their characters.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people complaining that it was frustrating for them to see Lorelai and Emily still at odds. But I just feel like if you've never had not a horrible relationship, but honestly at times, like a turmoil-filled relationship with a parent, you know that, like, you might make up and you might see eye to eye and you might finally get one person to listen to you and see you the right way at one moment. But I feel like it doesn't always stick, and you're always going to have these conflicts because it's just a touchy relationship.
Yeah.
And so I first of all, I like that in writing. I think it's more fucking compelling. I would not have been, like, that excited to see them, like, being BFF, like, Rory level.
Their whole thing was, like, that they've had on and offs the entire series. Yeah. So, like, being off for some of it was, like, just accurate.
And I just loved the way they handled Edward Herman's death, obviously Richard. And what makes me wonder is, like, so much of the plot is based around, you know, him not being there.
So much more than I thought. I thought they were going to have, like, a funeral or, like, a memorial
I'm
or something
glad
like
that they elaborated on it because he was so fucking important.
Yeah,
and he touched so many people so deeply.
But I was still shocked that it played such a central role to the plot.
Which literally is my next question is, like, if he had not died, what the fuck would they have done?
Because this was decided on...
Or would they have just killed him off in general?
Who knows?
Because they probably would have, if he didn't die, like, in the first episode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They would have given him another thing.
This was, like, decided on before he died.
Yeah.
So, like, what was their initial plan?
Because it seemed as though they had trouble filling these 6 hours, which, as, like, a huge fan of the show, kills me. Because I feel like there's so many things that I could have seen happen, which we'll get into. But... yeah. Because they focused on that so much, I wonder, like, what they would have done. Mm-hmm. That's just, like, a question that I have. I hope she answers it in, like, an interview, like Amy Sherman-Palladino.
Yeah. In Stars Hollow, they added, like, there's the quirks of the town. Like, there's just really quirky things. And they added some new things, like the secret bar I loved.
I loved the secret bar!
That was such a fantastic little idea. And, like, it fits...
Like a speakeasy hidden from Taylor.
Yeah, it fits so perfectly. It was so funny. And, like, things like that. Also, like, Luke's joke with the Wi-Fi passwords was, like, the first time he said a Wi-Fi password, I was like, oh my god, Luke, what are you doing? But then, like, he kept going. I was like, oh my god, this is really fucking funny.
I loved it because there were parts of the revival that were really forced when it came to, like, showing you, like, this is present, this is modern.
Yes.
But that little subtle joke, I thought, was, like, the best way of showing, like, hey, this is a modern show now. We have Wi-Fi. Seeing them with so many Apple products, which, like, also... What kind of fucking deal did they have with Apple?
They had a deal with Apple.
That A1 and, like, Uber Yelp.
Like, they had so many deals.
I swear.
It's crazy.
But there were some jokes about, like, the modern time period that were a little, like, too in your face. And that one I liked the most. Mm-hmm. And I love that he had, like, no man buns on his fucking, like, no cell phone sign or whatever. Yeah. I thought that was very Luke, but...
Oh, my God.
Though, couldn't you see Luke with a man bun? Like...
I don't know if I could see him with a man bun.
I don't know. Maybe I couldn't, but whatever. Either way.
Oh, God.
I love that Luke literally has, like, the exact same clothing pieces as well. Yeah. Same flannel, same blue hat that she gave him, same green fucking jacket. Like...
He's such a sweetheart. And him...
That's so, like, what his character I would expect.
His
to, like,
relationship to Rory, too. Like, him being, like, literally just her dad. Like, it was so perfect. He was just a great character in this.
Something I appreciated was kind of how little they let Christopher. And because I just feel like it fits him. Like, as much as I'm pissed off that he's literally still, in this day, blaming Lorelai for him being absent to Rory. He blames her. He's like, she took you out of here and she didn't want anything to do with me. You literally... Oh my god.
Yeah, it's frustrating, but it's his character and it fits.
And I like that. I like that he literally didn't grow. But I think that's kind of been a theme with this revival, is that a lot of people, I feel like Emily grew.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And that's really where it came out. Like, that's it. Like, I can't really tell you that any of the other characters showed as much growth as, if not regression. Like,
oh my god.
But we'll get into that as well.
So, like, one of everybody's favorite things from the original series is Kirk's fucking film, and we
His
got
film.
another Kirk short film, and that's just so awesome.
Not that I'm like, oh, man. I just loved all the little pulls from the inside jokes of the original series. And that's definitely something that, like, you can't watch this revival if you hadn't watched the rest of it. It would be just not fun for people to watch.
And I mean, I'm honestly not here for the revival to try and be like a Fuller House where it's like supposed to be a new show for new people, but like there's throwbacks to like the old stuff. Like, no, this is just like for the people that are the fans of this show.
Yeah, this is like, hey, we're gonna wrap things up better because we didn't get to do it for season 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved Kirk's short film. I loved was it Penelope or Penelope's Bree's dog. The pig, the fucking pig.
Oh yeah,
Petals.
Yeah, the little pig.
Yeah.
Damn it. I thought it was Christopher.
I know. Everyone was like, Dean looks great in the trailer. Okay, so that's something too. I wanted to say that they fucked up a lot of characters in this.
Yeah.
But the one person they actually made quite likable was Dean.
Yeah, they moved to Scranton, PA, which is like fits his character. He's got like 4 fucking kids. He's married. He's doing his thing.
It's like he learned from his lesson of, I don't know, like cheating on his wife and then got his shit together and actually turns out more likable than Rory.
Yeah.
What a fucking, like, you know what? Maybe that's
twist.
the writing being good, that it's such a plot twist.
Yeah.
That everyone is literally a better person except for Logan and Rory. Mm-hmm. Which we'll get into, of course.
Also, going back to Emily, like, the whole plot with her, the DAR.
I loved seeing those women again.
Yeah. I'm so, like, there's so many, like, random characters that, like, I didn't expect them to be back, but we're like all the DAR ladies. They were all the ladies that were there
fucking
originally.
Wild. I love seeing her with that crew of people and that iconic scene where you finally hear her curse for once.
I love that GIF already.
It was really cheesy when they would have people like almost curse. I was like, this is fucking Netflix. It's like, don't curse because it's Gilmore Girls, or just like do it because it's Netflix. But I liked her saying bullshit. It was very like, yes, Emily, drag her.
And we had Mitchum come back too for his scene. I didn't expect that, and that was honestly like just like a good scene.
I thought that was probably my favorite, like anything involving with Logan in this revival.
Yeah, which we'll get into again.
Because you saw Rory still be so shook, and this whole point of this revival is like Rory literally has been just expected to get everything that she wants and achieve everything, and like you find her at 32 years old totally flop, like just not doing well. I mean, she does have the New Yorker piece, and they honestly are making her seem like she's literally like jobless when she is still writing. It's just she's having trouble finding like the publication and the landing spot,
the solid spot. Like she's not like just with one thing, you know what I mean?
But I loved that she had, like, that one meal with Logan, and then you see Mitchum, and she's still so affected by him because she's probably thinking, like, maybe he was right.
Yeah.
Which is so... I'm just glad that happened.
Yeah.
Because that's cool, and I'm sure we can all relate to feeling like that.
Because, like, overall, I do think that, like, Rory's plot, in the grand scheme of things, of like not being career sound, I enjoyed, and it made sense, and so like it really fits well with like what Mitchum said. Was he right? Like,
especially because a big critique of the show and Rory is that she's too perfect.
Yeah.
And she ends up...
Which, I mean, looking back now, she's definitely not
She's
perfect.
really imperfect.
Yeah.
And I think we idolize her because we think she's charming and
she's
sweet and she's
girls,
smart.
like...
But there's a lot of flaws. I mean, every character has flaws, but I feel like the people that didn't see their flaws in this revival, Lorelai and Rory, like the two of them, just like I feel like they had trouble. The only resolution we got with Lorelai was with Emily, because the whole reason why they're arguing is because she brought up a bad memory of Richard at the funeral.
Yes.
And so at the end, she finally comes out with like the real deep, meaningful memory that she has of her father. And it's very emotional. Yeah. Sad it happened over the phone, though.
Yeah.
And like that's like the last poignant scene you have between Lorelai and Emily, and it's via the phone. And like honestly, do they speak face to face after that? I don't fucking
What
remember.
is the last time that they speak face to face?
And she's not at the wedding, which really I get it. They eloped before like the main event, but why wasn't Jess there? Why wasn't Suki there? I get why Suki was there. Melissa McCarthy, fuck you. But, like,
yeah,
they should have been there. And, like, at the end of the day, like, Emily would have been so angry if Lorelai did not have her
this.
there.
Like, yeah, this is...
So, like, I don't know. I thought that was a weird choice. Mm-hmm. Also, I thought the wedding scene, while they played a beautiful song that fit it absolutely perfectly, and I'm very happy that Luke and Lorelai, like, made amends, they didn't resolve issues between Luke and Lorelai.
Are we sinking into the negatives right
I guess
now,
I would say, like, my other positives were I liked that they finally outed Michelle as an LGBT character. They didn't call him gay. Technically, I would assume he would be bisexual, but, why would they say that, right?
Yeah.
Like,
everybody's just going to be saying, like, oh, he's gay, even though they don't really say.
I feel like that was justice for Michelle. However, the treatment of gay characters in this series has never been good, and it was even still uncomfortable. In 2016, like, a lot of the humor just didn't feel very current.
A lot of the social commentary honestly regressed a little bit from the original series.
Yeah, it felt dated in that way. Like, there's a town meeting, and they're kind of being a little self-aware with the fact that there literally are no LGBT characters that they made announced on the show.
Yeah, like, if they had just said, like, we have no gay people in this town, like, I thought, like, that would have been, like,
enough.
That line.
They dragged that out, and it got, like, really weird.
Like, we need to collect the gays from all around the neighboring cities so we can have enough for this parade.
It just got weird.
That was really weird.
And I saw that, like, so Gypsy, the woman who plays Gypsy, in real life, she always assumed that Gypsy's character was a lesbian who had, like, a little crush on Lorelai.
Yeah.
And that's why she wears, like, the pink ribbon.
We women gotta stick together.
Yeah. And so it's cute that they kind of alluded to her actually being gay in the series because she was just like, are you forgetting someone, Taylor? You know what I mean? So that was good. But the rest of the scene kind of felt like they missed the mark on, like, the representation side of things. I don't know.
Yeah. Before we go headfirst into the negatives, one major positive I wanted to bring up was I really liked Paris.
Oh, yeah.
Not only did she flawlessly get back into her role, but, like, and not only also that she is beautiful. Like,
oh, I know.
Like, I really enjoy, like, I was wondering, like, what are they going to have her doing?
Is she going to be medical? Is she going to be law?
And, like, the way they made it so she could be both was just, like, perfect. And, like, she was still, like, this powerful force that was scary and everything.
Like, I was surprised about the fertility thing at first, but then it kind of just feels like it fits her role, and how she's so, like, not personable about it, you know what I mean? Like, she's more just, like, this is, like, a business, and, like, these are these women, and, like, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It just felt very her character, and it was interesting to see Doyle and her, like, they have children, but they're getting a divorce because in real life, the guy who plays Doyle moved to LA to become a screenwriter, so they kind of have that happen on the show.
Yeah.
But they make him, like, an LA twat, you
know?
Yeah. But what I was upset about is, like, so you hear that they're going to have a divorce, they have, like, one scene together, and then nothing happens, so you don't know if they resolved it, if they had a divorce. So I felt like there were a lot of plots that, like, you'll see the throughout the series. It's like there's many plots they bring up, and then they just leave hanging there. They never actually bring them up again, and it's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Man?
So, negatives. Let's start back at the very beginning. The first probably, like, 15 minutes of this.
Not good. I was, like, so excited, right? And they're playing the music, and I'm like, yes, this is it. Like, it's happening. And then the first, like, lines of dialogue, I've never felt, like, more discomfort watching two people try to, like, be... Like, I don't know what it was, but it just
They might have been, like, their
right.
first scene back on
it
set.
Had to have
you know
been.
what I mean? Like, they were stiff.
It was stiff.
It was
Rory
bad.
especially. Like, it took Rory an entire, like, episode to get acclimated to the character again. Like, it was hard to watch at times.
Like, her running around trying to get cell reception, which was, like, a stupid joke.
And, that was another thing, too. There were a lot of jokes that they let run on longer than they would have in the original series.
Yes.
The original series, it's more like little snippy things that happen. Yeah. And it's like... You might have missed it. Like, that one line I think of, like, one of the funniest lines I think in the whole show is, like, when Rory and Paris come into the Yale dorm and they're soaking wet from the rain, and some girl is like, is it raining? And she's like, She says, like, of course it's raining. Does it look like I got fucking back ties, tire tubes, idiot, or something like that? Like, just very quick. And, like,
it's a fast wit. Like, they talk fast.
Little lines. They don't, like, elaborate. And I feel like in this show, it was almost like they were going for, like, this, like, slapstick humor where they let things draw out. And there was a lot of just, like, body language being used and jokes being repeated several times. And it got really, like, uncomfortable, especially because they know people are just binging this.
Yeah.
It's different than the original series.
Like, one thing I think of is, like, in the flashback to the wake for Richard, like, Lorelai trying to get away from, like, this circle because she doesn't know what's happening. Like, that was just, like... I feel
like I would never have seen Lorelai, like, do something like that.
She would have maybe switched seats with that one person first, but then, like, getting stuck on this wheelchair for, like, 5 minutes, like, that was just, like, odd and, like, very physical kind of humor that they don't usually go for.
Yeah, I'm here for the wit, which, like, I can appreciate some physical humor, but it's usually they leave that shit up to Kirk, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I felt that was, like, weird, and also, like, the Paul joke.
Yeah, that was another one that went
Rory's
on.
dating this guy for apparently, like, 2 years, and the ongoing joke is that he's not memorable, which, one... Like, I know she treats men like shit, let's not forget.
Yeah.
But I feel like they would have never gotten that far. Like, 2 years dating someone, I feel like Lorelai would have been like, what the fuck, Rory? Like, Lorelai's not the type of person to, like, hold back on judging Rory for making dumbass moves like that.
Exactly. Their whole thing is, like, you know, they're open and they're honest with things. And so, let's just fucking talk about Rory's character. Because that was probably, like, one of the top complaints that I got about this. Like,
and what people were talking about the most.
Yeah.
I just think, like, it makes sense that she would be still a cheater, but you'd think that the whole point of what they made her do with Dean... and where they broke up his marriage, that would have taught her a fucking lesson.
Yes.
I did not want to see 10 years go by and Rory has literally not improved as a human, literally in her career, apparently, or in her personal life as an adult woman. Yeah. And that was hard to watch. And she didn't even get it by the end, you know? It was like...
I was really hoping that she was not, like, all 3 past relationships were going to show up. But, like, I didn't want her to be with
any of them, really.
Yeah, I didn't want her to be with anybody. Like,
of course I would choose Jess, if anyone, but I didn't expect anything. I figured she would be with someone new, not Paul.
Well, I thought she was just going to be, like, doing her own fucking thing. And so, like...
The moment they had her starting to sleep with Logan, I was just like, oh, man. And they don't even really, like, contextually give you... Like, Logan proposed to her, and he was very bitter when she denied him. Yeah. What the fuck happened in between that? I want to know these things. Like, I feel like it was just so clunky.
Yeah, both of them cheating. Like, he's
a fucking asshole now. Like, they really ruined Logan at all having redeeming qualities. He was already a fuckboy, like, let's not forget. But he did have some charming moments.
Yeah, like, he was definitely my second next to Jess.
Yeah, like, and adult Jess, of course. Not, like, early days Jess, even though he was handsome as fuck.
Yes.
You know? But, like... Yeah, they really made Logan, like, not likable whatsoever because he's literally engaged to someone who they never even show, which I thought was kind of stupid. Yeah, they can spend 30,000 minutes on that stupid musical, but they can't even show his fucking fiance or anything. Don't even get me started about that one.
Yeah, we won't fucking get there. But,
like, you know, I just felt like I wanted more context for that. It felt really fucking weird.
Like what you said, too, like, Lorelai, them being, like, able to talk about things. Lorelai didn't tell her off about this at all. Lorelai should have been like, yo, you remember fucking Dean and, like, that marriage? Like,
Lorelai
what are you doing?
Was like not giving her. I felt like Lorelai felt really out of character in those moments, and
she was not like giving her input on Rory's life because she's done that the whole time.
And
like,
it's not out of character for Rory to be doing this, but I would have thought that in the last 10 years she would have gotten the idea that, like, hey, I broke up a marriage once, I'm not going to do it again. Yeah. I don't know.
Like, Lorelai, and when she's dropping out of Yale, like, Lorelai, that causes a huge fight, and they
don't even talk.
Yeah, like, she, like, is so adamant on making sure Rory's life goes the right way.
And making good choices.
Yeah.
And being a good person.
And not repeating her mistakes, which is, like...
And, like, honestly, has Lorelai broken up a marriage? No.
Yeah, like...
Where's this learned behavior coming from?
I don't know, but it's Rory's damn fault for being so stupid, but, like, honestly, I thought Lorelai's character would have put more input
more
into
feelings
this.
About it.
Yeah.
So I feel like Logan's just, like, a twat. Rory, like, literally didn't learn shit. That's great. She's smart, but not in the life way, apparently. Maybe that's the, like, thing. I don't know.
Also, like she was shitty relationship-wise, but also professionally-wise. Like, you know, that interview she goes for at the internet thing, I forget what it's called, and, like, she's not prepared.
Because she just like, assumes she's going to get anything that's hers, you know? She wants everything, and she thinks she can have it all, but people are like, you gotta work for it, and you gotta grow the fuck up, honey.
Yeah, exactly.
And I like that, like, idea, and I think it's a really interesting way to write a character like her, because she's kind of like that typical, like, chosen girl in the beginning, and I like that they made her flawed as fuck. But I feel like they needed to resolve the flaws as well.
Yeah, she can't have, like, gone on, like, I'm thinking, for example, like, Cursed Child, Harry Potter, like, Harry Potter developed some flaws by the time he got to Cursed Child. Like, he was a changed character.
But his flaws, like, made sense. Like, he didn't have a father, so that means he could be not as great as a father. And he was abused, so maybe he could be... So I don't know if he was actually abusive in the... I didn't read it.
No, well, I mean, like, the Dursleys.
Just not treating his son great, and he wasn't treated great by his aunt and uncle,
Yeah, so, like, you know, there was, like, a change in character. She just literally, like, didn't fucking change.
Yeah. So, like, people are, you know, the last 4 words happen, and, you know, it's basically that Rory's pregnant, which a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, it's Logan's. She also had that one-night stand, and I feel like they threw that in there for that reason. Like, it could be Logan's, but it could be... not Logan's. I hope it's not. I really hope it's the Wookiee guy or whatever.
It could be Paul. I know he's forgettable, but like...
But did she sleep with him in 2 years? Who knows? I guess you're right. It could be Paul. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, who the fuck knows? Like, the Paul thing was, like, really stupid in general. Like,
and some people are like, oh, let's do a spinoff. And, like, honestly, I don't want to see Rory right now. Like, I don't want to see... Because if she can't grow, then I'm not really interested. Yeah. Unless they're going to make her grow in that. It's like, oh, you got to tune in for, like, a second show to, like, actually see her character arc. Yeah. Past and, like... destroying it. I don't know.
If you were to try and go for a spinoff, like, she mentioned she was going to try and moving to Queens. And, like, if they were going to do a spinoff...
They made Queens seem so white, by the way. Horrible. Very bad.
Yeah, really bad. But, like, if they were going to do a spinoff, I would assume it's, like, her going through the kind of the same thing that Lorelai went through, being a single mother, but
living
also...
in Queens, and they'd have quirky white people, like, living in the fucking apartment
building. And be, like, sweeping shots of the city and feel nothing like a Stars Hollow small town kind of vibe, and that's not
And
really,
I'd still
like...
watch it because I'm trash.
Yeah.
Because, duh, I'm gonna watch everything. I can still watch things and enjoy them, but also, like, think critically about them.
Yeah. Speaking of, like, what I just said, like, we spent so much time out of Stars Hollow. And that was really
probably one of my main complaints.
In between the whole wild plot thing.
Which
and,
literally
like,
was written to make one joke several thousand times and to include every person from Bunheads. By the way...
This was the fucking...
It was like the Bunheads reunion, not like the Gilmore Girls fan service.
It was like a fucking crossover between the two of them. It was like...
I get it. They were written by the same binch. I
don't care.
Emily was in that. It's just like, I'm not here for Bunheads. I'm here for Gilmore Girls. And they literally wrote scenes to include characters that never existed in Gilmore Girls. And they spent so much time. There's literally, like, we were gross. We decided to add up the amount of time they spent on the wild scene, which was just like a bunch of Bunheads people and everyone from Parenthood.
Yeah.
What? Like, Mae Whitman was the only one that was like, okay, this is fine.
Yeah.
And then
the musical.
And it's literally a full 40 minutes. 40 minutes is the same length of a regular Gilmore Girls episode. Like, think about how much plot towards Lane. Oh, they did Lane so dirty, man. They've done her dirty since the moment Dave Rogowski left.
Yeah, honestly.
And they still, like, the whole point of Lane getting pregnant was like, am I going to be a good mother? Do I be like my mother? Do I be like me? Like, what do I do? And then you literally don't even see her interact with her own children.
You don't know anything about her life much at all. Like, you know she's working for
Their house looked really cute, and I think Brian's still living there.
Which was fun.
And I loved seeing Gil.
Yeah, but, like, that whole... area of the show was just, like, glossed over, and you got nothing out of any of that.
And you didn't even really get, like friendship moment between, like, Rory and Lane. It was just kind of like the classic Lane's at her house, and Rory's just talking at her about her complex problems, and Lane's just there, like... Okay. Mm-hmm. But Lane, at one point, she was like, yeah, like, Zach, he's working. And, like, they never explained, like, what Zach's doing. I mean, I don't know.
Is he like imitating George Washington because he
what's
looks
going
like
on?
him? Like,
I think what happened is like everyone on the cast decided like Zach was going to take one for the team and age for all of them because no one else, like Emily Gilmore, no, Lorelai, Rory, Luke, even like Michelle, everyone looked exactly the same
Wayne,
except for Zach.
Yeah.
Poor Zach.
I know. So yeah, that musical though. Oh my god, that was like probably
that took a toll on me.
That was
bitch.
the worst part. We were sitting here like, oh my god, they're doing another song. This
Every
is
time.
so stupid.
One song was enough, man. And even it didn't even have to be a full song. Like if you can't even show me Kirk's full short film, why do I have to watch 5 songs from 2 people I've never seen before because I didn't watch Bunheads? Spoiler, like not everyone that watched Gilmore watched the one season of the show about ballet. I get it's probably more than that, but it wasn't piquing my interest.
Also, like from what I can tell, I know I was angry in the moment, but I couldn't like. Was it about even Stars Hollow? Like, really didn't fucking seem like it. They were gonna do a music.
The lyrics didn't really like. There wasn't enough jokes happening about Stars Hollow for me to feel like it warranted that much time. And then there was the whole scene afterwards, and it was just like these awkward shots of like Lorelai watching the show. And I was like, honestly, Lorelai is me cringing at this.
Yeah. And
like I just picture like, you know, there's those people that are like, Gilmore Girls is so cheesy, and it's like the original show definitely has like its own cheese factor to it.
Yeah.
But this is like a whole other level of like, I can understand why people would see this and be like, yeah, not for me. Yeah. And I don't want that. I don't want people being turned off because they see this, but...
Another thing that, like, the Bunheads people got thrown into, and they kind of added in, I feel like, for that was, like, the 30-year-olds group or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
it's just random. I don't know. They shit on millennials, of course. Like, a lot of the jokes were so, like, not 2016. Just, shitting on young people, shitting on people who work for online websites. Also, the body shaming. The
body shaming is horrible considering their fucking diet.
Like okay, I saw a tweet or Facebook post, and it was just like, and it's classic. You see, you know, thin women, it's attractive and cute when they eat, like, hordes and hordes of food. It's like, oh, it's so attractive, like, eat that pizza, bitch. But, like, they are literally acting... First of all, the joke lasted, like, several minutes of them literally just shitting on one person's body for being big, and it literally made me so uncomfortable and so sad because it's such a terrible message.
Yeah, this is not a 2016 show. That's not even something that would have happened in the original series, I don't think.
No, they did tons of body shaming, but like you'd think like, oh, like Suki is such an amazing character. She's a plus size woman, and they don't make it about her weight at all. She just has career problems and mother problems and blah blah blah. And then they turn around and they fucking body shame, and it's so uncomfortable and so not even funny. Like, who's laughing at fat jokes?
Yeah.
I can't, like, I mean, there's probably some idiots, but, like, that's not even, like, intelligent humor. Mm-hmm. I don't know, it just...
They threw in a trigger warning in there as well. Yeah. Like, god damn it.
Like whatever, like... some of the... Oh, my God, yeah. Let's talk about the portrayal of mental health,
yeah, because that's, like, one of these social things that's, like, really did not get portrayed.
And that's the thing, like, when I recommend this show, like, they've always been flawed in many ways. Like, the diversity, the LGBT commentary, there's just been lots of flaws. And that's why I like to talk about it, because it was a really good show in many aspects, but there's flaws.
It's getting dated as we go on in this
time. But I didn't expect that shit to end up happening in this. And, like, you think that they're gonna, you know, talk about therapy, and, like, yes, Luke has, like, a little bit of a stigma towards it. And it's, like, for Luke's character, I could see
see it fitting in. Same with Emily. Yeah, same
with Emily. Even though Emily's the one that went kind of, like, full hog into it.
Yeah, like, she turned it around and she
was, like, into it. Like, that phone call where she calls Lorelai and she's like, I've been loving it. And, like, I was so excited about that.
Yeah,
so cool. I was hoping it was going to be, like, a positive message. But they never, like, change anyone's opinion, and they still end up shitting on it. And they also made the therapist, like, really weird and judgmental and, like, just not what would happen. And it just didn't seem like a good portrayal at all, and I was just kind of disappointed with it.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention the fact that, like, nothing ever really happened within those moments being in therapy. Like, it was just a whole bunch of, like, Lorelai and Emily, like,
silence
bickering and silence, and also bringing up of a letter that never gets brought up again, ever again.
Yeah. They made such a big deal about, you wrote me this letter, and Laurel's like, no, I didn't. And then they never bring it up again. What the hell? Like, did they watch this through before they aired it? Like, hey, there's several holes here. Why did we bring up these things and then just never resolve them? Like, Luke having a problem with surrogacy, which another thing that I, like, am annoyed about, but at the same time, like, it kind of fits his character. It's kind of, like, more
he's
newfangled.
So against change.
He's also very old-fashioned, very slow.
Yeah.
But, like, they don't even resolve it. They end up getting married, and they still don't know what they're going to do about having children.
Their resolution is getting married, and that's, like, not the thing you do.
Can I just, like, say that I am so sick of this being, like, a fucking vibe that, like, getting married will solve any relationship problems. That is, like, not at all what works.
Yeah.
And then, like, they have this whole thing, they're like, oh, you've been together with Luke for 9 years. He's not your partner, he's your roommate. I hate that.
Yeah.
But I get Emily feeling that because she's so traditional, and
So there's a little conflict.
For me, I'm like, okay, that's bullshit, Emily. But a lot of the things that Emily Gilmore says are bullshit because she's, you know, a conservative, older woman, and I expect that. But yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of things that just didn't get resolved.
They introduced, like, a lot of things, and then they just, instead of, like, working on those plots, they just, like, hey, here's a musical. Hey, we're out in the desert for half an episode.
Here's
like,
Rory running around looking for a phone signal for 20 minutes.
Here, we're in New York talking to random people outside of
It was also
convention.
jarring to see those shots of, like, New York.
Exactly.
Like, from
like,
a fucking drone or whatever. Like, it was so not Gilmore feeling.
I wanted to be in just Connecticut.
I know. I wanted to be in Connecticut. I mean, I don't mind, like, a trip to New York or whatever, London. It just felt like, you know, season 7, everyone was like, why the fuck are we in Paris? Why is Lorelai and Christopher getting married in Paris? And then we were literally, like, in London and California and New York and all this shit. And, like, I get it. They travel, like, they're doing their lives. But you'd expect to see Rory doing that, not so much Lorelai. And I don't know. I was just kind of frustrated with, like, there weren't a lot of, like, songs that were being played. They didn't even play the song until the very last episode credits.
They made a big fucking deal about that being remastered for
I know,
this
I read
thing.
so many articles them being like, oh, we got them back together and we, like, re-recorded it and it's all about love. And they don't even play it. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that leads into the fact that, like, there was... The whole style of the entire series was kind of off, and part of that came from, like, the whole la-la-las were not really present throughout it, and I think I would have preferred an opening sequence to it. I could understand the little title cards, but, like,
I'm like, don't waste my time on the opening sequence if you give me more content, but if you don't give me content, at least give me the goddamn song.
Like, they could have,
I wanted it.
At least on the first episode, maybe, like, sweeping shots of Stars Hollow and everybody being fucking...
That's literally, I figured they would play the song with just shots of, like, the gazebo, the diner, the market, the house. Like, that's what I was expecting. But it was fine. Like, in fact, that's, like, a very small complaint that I have, honestly. I liked how it opened with the different lines, the iconic lines from the original series.
Yeah.
And you hear Edward Herrmann say a few things. And I thought that was really exciting. And I did really enjoy the scene where Rory's back in Emily's house because they're selling Emily's house, and I feel like you didn't get a proper goodbye to the Gilmore house.
Yeah, you thought, like, it was going to happen, like, in the first episode, and then, like, it doesn't, and then, like, it happens eventually, and it's like... Still don't feel like
you don't even go in the pool house. I'm like, we spent so much time in this fucking pool house between, like, Richard moving there and then Rory. Like, I wanted to say goodbye to the pool house. I wanted to say goodbye to Lorelai's childhood bedroom, the balcony, like, just different things. But those are small complaints, honestly. But I loved the scene where you're, like, Rory, and she looks at the table, and they have, like, the Friday night dinner happening, which, by the way, they only had one Friday night dinner in, like, the whole fucking thing, which was disappointing. And Kirk was there, which was, like, I love Kirk, but, like, it wasn't the Friday night dinner.
Exactly.
And then, but I loved when she got to the kitchen, and you hear the, like, the frozen pizza banter that happened, which is one of my favorite, like,
that was really good.
Rory and the grandparents scenes. Mm-hmm. And I cried, of course, during that. You know, that's something that I wanted to bring up for the positives. But
another thing that was like a big time sink that got us nowhere was the Life and Death Brigade sequence.
Yo, what the fuck? I was like, am I high, or did that crow speak and it's not a dream?
Yeah,
they made a bird talk, and it's like... real things.
That's like a stylistic change that I did not like, because they're trying to make it like all these lights are changing the houses and the shops and all this stuff.
I'm not here for it getting weird like that. I don't like it when each episode felt stylistically different, and I just you know, even the wedding. I don't know about you, but that wedding felt like nothing I've ever seen on Gilmore Girls, and not in a good way.
There's really choreographed motions as they're like Luke's pushing her on a ladder as she grabs a hat.
So weird. Luke wouldn't be doing that shit. He doesn't even want to dance.
Really weird.
They spent a lot of money on choreography and not plot driven shit.
Honestly,
I mean, another thing is all right. So the plot with the dragonfly is that they, they need to expand. Michelle's feeling stagnant. Suki is already gone, but that's because of Melissa McCarthy. I'd be interested to know, if she had not been a fucking flop ass, what would have been her plot? And we don't even get a scene with her and Jackson.
I know.
Jackson was there for a minute, not even.
I don't blame them. He had an eggplant. I don't blame them for what they did with Suki because
they did what they could because she was like, I guess I could squeeze this in.
Yeah.
Jesus. Probably the only role I like her in, TBH.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Seriously.
So the whole plot is Michelle doesn't know what he wants to do, and Lorelai finds this house, which felt really random and rushed that she found that location that was going to be a second in, but whatever.
That doesn't even really get resolved though.
She doesn't even tell Michelle or Suki would Michelle be considering staying? Is Suki going to come back?
Because she's a co-owner of this fucking place.
Nothing is resolved. Nothing. What was resolved? Lorelai and Luke marriage. That's
also,
it.
I feel like Luke's plot with Emily about, trying to expand the diner really, they had one scene where they were, looking around. I didn't feel like that really got resolved, but...
No, I mean, it kind of got resolved because Lorelai was like, yo, I actually think that we're going to expand the Dragonfly. I know this is what Dad wanted for Luke, but I thought it was cute that he even, considered leaving Luke in the will. Yeah. I also found it really random and out of character because they did hate Luke so much, but I don't know what could have happened in the years before he died and they were still together.
Yeah.
And that's something that you don't see.
His death in the sequence is very recently. It's 4 months before winter.
Exactly, yeah. So, I don't know, but I thought it was kind of convenient that they just, was giving Lorelai the money instead. But I love that they came out with, another contract almost.
Yeah.
And I thought that was, if we're going to go full circle... I like that route where she's still owing her dinners or whatever. I thought that was perfect, and I was very happy that happened. I guess that's the scene that they get to resolve.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That happens after the phone call.
Plot holes within Emily's arc were that, why did they have the actress that plays Gypsy play her maid? And why didn't they change her maid? I wish they would have, continually changed her maid.
I read that a lot of people were saying that it shows Emily's growth that she finally likes a maid.
Okay.
And so that's kind of sweet. I don't know why they chose the same actress, and then they have these weird shots where her face is not fully towards the camera. Could they had every person from Bunheads get a bun to play the fucking maid. I don't know, I thought that was random, but also what about the subtle racism? Because
that was not even fucking subtle.
I think it was supposed to be a joke, but it's just what I get is I get Emily would probably be a racist character if you think about it. If we're gonna go to Dark Gilmore, because she's this conservative woman, very traditional, whatever, fucking old, and it just felt really weird. I don't know what language they're speaking, and the family keeps growing every 10 seconds. It just came to me it felt like a racist joke, and I did not like it. I did not like that. But I did find that it was sweet that she found a maid that she liked.
Yeah.
And I like that she's living in the Cape. That seems very Emily Gilmore.
That was I like where she ended up. I thought it was really good.
And I liked seeing her sit out on that bench and look really content. I was very happy about that.
But another thing that's not really explained, is she dating that guy?
Yeah, and is that the guy that she dated on that one episode of Gilmore, when her and Richard
No,
split?
I don't think it was him, but he was definitely somebody
one
from
of
the
those
past.
men.
Yeah.
One of those clubhouse boys.
Yes. So are they dating? Because she's kind of pushing him away when he's there in that one scene.
Can I be honest? I was just thinking that, it would have made sense. You know how Rory goes to Chilton and she, gets talked to by the headmaster and he's like, why don't you just teach here because you're flopping through life? Yeah. Honestly, she should have. Yeah, I could totally see her doing that. I feel like that's a role that she could be in. I thought somebody was going to be
a teacher there. Or something was going to happen with that, but whatever.
I did like seeing her on the Stars Hollow Gazette. And I liked seeing her move back in with Lorelai because that's just something that has happened. And it's, it's always a trope that it's these lazy millennials always have to move back in with their parents. And it's well, sorry, the whole job market is dried up, you fucking baby booming fuck. Like, I'm sorry. You know, so it was nice to see that, and they didn't, like, they kind of made fun of it, but at the same time, it felt like a really honest thing for a young person to be dealing with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I would still consider, like, 32 young, you know?
Exactly.
But, I don't know.
I thought of something. Being back in Stars Hollow, like, when she comes back, they only had one scene where Lorelai and Rory were together in Luke's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that right there just says so much to me, because
there wasn't a lot of time in Luke's.
Yeah, really.
I was sad that Liz and TJ were, like, just over the phone.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
But, I mean, who knows what happened, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so something that I was actually shocked and happy about was that I expected Jess to only be in scenes with Rory, because they know that that's what we really care about, but at the same time, I love Luke and Jess's relationship.
It grows so much.
And so I was very happy to see that they had
like
scenes
when he throws
with just
hat,
Luke.
like,
yeah!
It was so fun.
And when they're just talking about, like, what's going on with Lorelai, and I don't know, it was very tender, and I love their evolution of a relationship. It's just, you know, it made me very happy to see those scenes. Now, let's talk about Jess.
Yeah, let's talk about this arc of Jess.
I'm glad they didn't end up, because guess what? Plot twist. Jess doesn't need that. Rory doesn't even deserve Jess at this point.
He's too good for her.
He's got his shit together. He's just a sweet guy, and, you know, he didn't put, you know, clearly he's got feelings for her still. They made that very apparent with, like, Luke being like, so is it really over between you? And he's like, yeah, and then he looks in the window, and he's, like, got that pained. Oh, I mean, that broke my heart, honestly. Yeah. It's very unrequited, and that's always gonna kill me.
He's always got the best advice for her. He was the one to pick her up off her feet and be like, yo, you could do this.
He was the one that literally gave her the idea to write the book, and it was the first thing that she found passion in forever.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I love him as a friend for her, and just, like, someone to guide with her. And she just, honestly, just treats him like shit. And I don't know. I'm glad that they didn't end up together, but I think what people assume is happening with, like, her being pregnant, and, like, Logan, if he's the father, is supposed to be, like, the Christopher role, and they're saying that Jess is going to end up being, like, Rory's Luke, and it's like, that's very full circle. But I don't know if I even think he should deal with that at this point, because I don't know. I wouldn't even trust her to not cheat on him at this point, because I need more development from Rory.
Well, but since you brought it up, how do you feel about the book?
I mean, I liked seeing her be passionate about it.
Yeah, I personally actually did not mind that.
I didn't mind it, but I will say, like, we've seen that in a lot of things.
I immediately thought of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit.
Oh, okay.
That's where my mind went to, but I know other things have done it as
well. They've
done
it on, like, sitcoms, dramas, like, you just name drop the thing.
As, like, the finale.
As the last screenplay or the book or the next project.
Something,
I don't fucking know. Yeah, so I don't know how I felt about that, but I liked the idea of that being something that she's doing. And I kind of almost like that you don't even know if she's going to be a success, because at this point she's only just, like, writing a prototype of a book, and she's not even anywhere with it yet, and she's still living with Lorelai. Yeah. But that's what I mean, like, so much is, like, left in the air.
Oh my god, speaking of Jess, I just thought of this, when they're in the graveyard and Lorelai is still, like, anti-Jess, like, why?
She should be anti-Rory, honestly,
and
I feel like he proved himself to be a good person.
Like, him and Dean are, like, miles above Logan now. Like,
I know.
They've really proved themselves.
I feel bad for the people that really liked Logan, because they really made him, like, unlikable in this.
Yeah, he did have redeeming qualities. Now I
mean, his apartment was probably the best part of it. And, like, the moment I saw her in London and in that gray couch apartment, I was like, this has to be Logan's place.
Yeah.
But I didn't think they were going to be, like, sleeping together, and it was okay, I gotta say, like, at least it kept me on my toes. It was definitely a twist.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
Mm-hmm. But it is funny that, like, Logan ended up being back, like, in his father's business, and, like...
Yeah, like, Christopher's working for his dad, Logan's just working for his dad. It's like, you flop-ass blondes. Like, that sucks.
God. I definitely didn't put together, like, the conversation that Rory had with Christopher before the end. Like, I didn't put that together that was, like, a reference to, like, her being pregnant.
I want to watch that scene over just to see. I want to, I kind of wanted to see, like, Rory find out she was pregnant.
Yeah.
But
I can't...
And, like, at what point did she figure it out and she started, like, making her dialogue, you know, allude to it, you know?
And the fact that those were supposed to be the 4 words that ended it no matter what. Like, if she was
that means she was supposed to be 22 originally.
Yeah.
And so they really wanted her to just not have a career and do, like, the Lorelai thing and then build herself up like Lorelai did.
Which kind of sucks because we spend this whole show building up her career and how she's going to do
so great. Going to be different than her mom. You're not going to make the same mistakes as me, etc. And then they were going to make that happen. Like, honestly, what a sadistic plot. But I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of am
self-fulfilling
into
prophecy,
how, like, that's like a hell. But I don't know. I don't...
Oh, fuck.
Okay, so I'm just looking at my list of things. Other things, I was hoping Madeline and Louise would show up, and we got Francine next.
Yeah, also, like, Tristan, why did they need to bring him up at all? Because he was, like, gone, he got kicked out, and they recast, and, like, why was Paris so affected by Tristan?
Yeah.
That was just really dumb.
No Hoopa at the wedding.
Why?
Huge problem. Now, Gazebo, yes.
But also Hoopa. Like, I would have preferred Hoopa over Gazebo.
Literally, Lauren Graham, like, tweeted, like, yeah, you'll get that Hoopa. Like, did I miss it? I mean, there was so much going on in that fucking, like, choreographed scene. Like, was it just floating in the air? I would believe that.
Yeah, that was just so weird. Like, that door, and then you go through these fucking curtains, and then it's, like, this whole goddamn thing. It was just very odd.
And I guess something that I thought was a little weird is, like, we know the show is for, like, pop culture references, but I thought, like, having, like, Rachel Ray pop up and, like, other, like, very well-known people... It's just jarring.
Like,
really in the show, like, John Hamm was on it, but, like, no one knew who the fuck John Hamm was.
Yeah.
Or, like, what's-his-face from Twilight.
Also,
and, like,
Adam Brody. Like,
Adam Brody, yeah, he wasn't popular. Chad Michael Murray.
This made a lot of people's, like, careers from this. Like, so they weren't anybody beforehand, or, like, they weren't as well-known beforehand. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I feel like at this point we should get into questions, because we'll probably answer anything else that we were planning on talking about.
Yeah. So I'm going to go to Patreon first, and we have one from Sylvia who said, did you find the revival to be as funny as the original series?
Yes and no.
I'm going to say as a whole...
Probably no, though.
Probably a no, but again, like Luke and the passwords and...
Yeah,
like,
and... Any of Babette's lines, any of Luke's lines.
Oh my god! Like being in the movie theater to see Kirk's film and everything that everybody was doing there.
Yeah,
was hilarious.
like when Babette and Maury, not enough Maury.
Yeah,
when they were like grilling.
Either, like.
And like I don't know. Of course, a lot of people didn't like what they did with April too, but I kind of thought it was funny. Like that happens. Like the smart kid always turns into like that flop wannabe, like
exactly
stoner flop with that hat. I don't know. It just felt right.
So next question's from Annie, who said, I'm so happy I finally remembered to ask a question for the Revival app. To be honest, I was a little bit more than disappointed than I wanted to be, but in order to not be a negative binge, what call back to the original series was your favorite? I died a little bit when they showed the basket auction, personally.
Oh, yeah! See, that's the thing. Like, I wanted the town things that were happening to be things that we've seen before. Like, instead of having a musical, let's have, like, the dance marathon.
Yeah!
How lit would that have been?
Also, just, like, the festivals that they had were not, like, festivals that we've
seen.
Had.
But they did the basket.
Yes,
and
that was fun.
I would say just like the town hall meeting and having like Bootsy and Tom and like all of those guys, but
that was really like a good scene. Taylor was perfect.
Probably my favorite callback though was the Kirk short film.
Yeah,
and then like Moria having the shirt.
Yeah,
you know, like I really appreciated that.
Mm-hmm. Just being in the theater for that whole thing was really great.
Yeah, that was just a really good scene. And notice how the best scenes are the ones with like the most like stars Halloween townspeople bullshit. That's what I want.
Okay, and so we also have a ton of comments on the Reddit as
well. Oh my god, yeah, you guys were so excited about this episode.
We had a lot of comments on Patreon too, but it's a lot of things that we've already covered. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a really good comment about like the mental health problem. Like everyone kind of wanted to know like what we thought about it, and this comment that was like, I think it's valid to show therapy stigmatization because it totally exists, but they didn't really turn it around and made an effort to combat this idea or have characters go through development, right?
Yeah.
So like that's kind of a drag.
Yeah. Also, it's kind of weird to like have the therapist play a role outside of therapy. Like,
I don't know what the fuck.
Sure, that could have maybe been a thing, but it didn't have to be. Like,
and everyone is just like, everyone unanimously is upset about the musical and the allotted time.
That's probably like the number one thing besides Rory being a fuck. Like, that was probably the number one thing that I've seen.
Because I know people are like, that should have been time spent on Jess, but like, okay, Jess was also absent for a lot of the show, so I think we need to remember that like we should spend time with the characters that are like, I know, and I love Jess.
Yeah.
Like, but Lane, I feel like, got totally fucked over. Mrs. Kim got one line. Like, there were other people that needed plot.
How do you feel about seeing Mr. Kim?
I don't know. I love that it was kind of like ambiguous.
Yeah.
Like, you never really saw him.
Yeah. They could have just been like, so where's Mr. Kim? He's like, he's doing something. Like,
if anything, I'm kind of glad that they addressed it in a way that's kind of like, haha, remember when we like totally flopped on that one?
Yeah,
I think it's kind of funny, and like that's an evidence of them being self-aware that I enjoyed because it was very quick. Mm-hmm. Nothing that was too dragged out.
Exactly.
And everyone just wants to know what Mrs. Kim's skincare routine is because she just like looked great. And she looked exactly the same.
Yeah, so many people just, like, looked really fucking good.
How much did you scream with all the Food Network references? That was something I did enjoy, despite Rachel Ray. Yeah. But, like, Sandra Lee, they mentioned.
Yeah,
and
I honestly, like...
Ina Garten several times.
Even though Melissa McCarthy is a jerk for not being back for much of it, like, her scenes were funny. I really enjoyed Suki's role. And, like, her sniffing around the kitchen being like, oh my god, Sammy's? Like, Rachel Ray? Like, that was funny.
It's a shame. Like, I understand why they didn't have a lot of scenes with her, but it really sucked because I loved Suki and Lorelai.
Suki is a great character.
I was really shocked that Rory would still be the other woman. I'm 32, and while in my 20s that might have been cool, but I am now wise enough to recognize a fuckboy when I see one. I thought an intelligent woman like Rory would be able to have enough self-respect and wisdom to not stay in that type of relationship. Thoughts. And yeah, I just think like I like seeing the flaws, and like maybe it's not that fucked up that she's cheating in the first like episode when you find out that she's still like with Logan a little bit and you find out that he's engaged, but to see her not really like sit down and be like, whoa, why am I like this, you know, why do I do this several times? I feel like they needed to address it, and you're right, Lorelai should have been like, remember Dean. I would have loved to have like a poignant scene between the two of them. I feel like they didn't have like the two of them, their relationship, I feel like they barely needed to develop. They acted like Lorelai and Rory had like nothing to work on, and I feel like that would have been a great moment to show like the mother-daughter side of it. Yeah. Instead of just like them being friends, walking around New York getting cronuts. Yeah. Like I want to see more like drama.
They needed to be more reflective on a lot of things. So I thought about this earlier, and then somebody brought it up. How does Lorelai pay for all of the Food Network chefs and all these different chefs to work at the Dragonfly, but then has to get a loan to get this, like, extra edition?
And it's not doing well because they're, like, not bougie enough.
Yeah, so, like, how does she get Rachel Ray to work there?
That's a whole...
That's just, like, a plot hole. It's like, why?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is going on there. Whose arc was your favorites? Mine was Emily's. I love how she went to work at the Whaling Museum because she thought it was so interesting. Definitely was peeved by some cringy fat comments and mental health comments. Hated the brigade weird scenes and stuff. Yeah, like the first of all, I hate all of Logan's friends. Yeah. They're all super annoying, and I was not happy that we spent so much time with them. Yeah, oh my god, like get off my screen. Like, where's Lane?
Like, that entire sequence was inconsequential. It was just like they went out and they had a good time.
And then he was like, hey, Rory, here's a key to my house so I can have like a place to stash you away when I don't feel like being with my wife. Like, yeah. So gross.
Such a toxic
like,
message.
If you like Logan now, I'm like, side-eye. I'm sorry. But yeah, I really loved seeing Emily work at the Whaling Museum. And I know you thought it was kind of like random, and it was.
Like, I enjoyed it, but I'm just like, they maybe could have made it some sort of museum. I understand it's probably like a real museum that exists. Yeah. But like, they could have given her something that's more relative to what she is, because she's not shown any interest in anything aquatic the entire series.
Yeah. It would have been cool if it was like, I don't know, like a classic music museum or something that had like Chuck Berry. God, and
yeah.
I was sad that they didn't play Bill.
Yeah.
But I feel like, okay, so not to be dark, but like if you died and we were like married for a million years, I would fucking be, you could catch me like giving speeches at a goddamn aquarium to find my jollies. That's what I would do. Honestly, so I loved it. I thought it was really sweet. And I just like seeing how content she is, you know, because that was a lot. A lot of people asking me if I noticed Jess's ass.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
We gotta watch This Is Us or whatever.
Yeah,
like, we gotta. People just talking about, again, like, the ending 4 words, like, would you be interested in seeing more? Like, would you want a second season? Would you want anything more? How do you feel? Like,
it's like part of me is like, I want more because I'm always going to be curious and I'm always going to be desperate for more stuff in Stars Hollow. But just judging off of what they did here, I don't know if I would even enjoy it. Yeah. So I don't know.
I think
like the fact that I enjoyed season 7 more than this kind of like disappoints me. I'm trying not to be like, oh, I'm so disappointed in it, because there's many things about it that were fun, and I know I'll enjoy ultimately watching it several times as I watch the series through, and it doesn't change the first 7 seasons.
But it's also like, if I go back and like if I go back and I watch the original series, just knowing that like all the shit that Rory goes through is gonna mean literally nothing because she's gonna make all these mistakes in the future, like really is upsetting. And
I guess you're right. Or knowing that, like, all of Lane, like, nothing matter. Yeah, you're right.
God. And this just popped up in my head as nothing related, but, like, to go along with the random branding that's going on all over the place, we got, like, the Apple products, like, every 5 seconds. We've got,
like I didn't mind that, but, like, I didn't hear them say Yelp and Uber several times.
Twitter.
Were they getting paid by Uber? I must know.
Yeah.
Like, Twitter made sense, and it was short.
Although I like that plot with Kirk with, like, Uber. Like,
it makes sense for Kirk, and he was like, call my mom to give me a rating. Like, very Kirk. But yeah, it was weird.
And also,
it was very like, hey, we're so current. Mm-hmm. We're so happening right now.
That's the times when they really pushed that, whereas like the password thing was like a subtle nod to like, we're in 2016 right now.
Yeah.
And like, I know, I can't remember what other show it was, but some other show that Netflix has done, they've really just like brought up other Netflix things.
Chelsea's show.
Chelsea's show makes sense because, like, she's just like a fucking
like a talk show.
It's a talk show, and, like, sure, they can get the Netflix people to be on her show because it's all them.
It's their network, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, that's a little bit more sense, but, like, they name-dropped Narcos. They name-dropped, what was that one, that French show?
Oh, The Returned, which also would recommend, guys. It's really fucked up.
Yeah, so that, and
then they name-dropped Neil Patrick Harris, which I'm like, the only reason why they're doing that is because of fucking Lemony Snicket.
Unfortunate event. Or, yeah,
and they said his name like 1,000 times in one scene.
Yeah, they definitely name-dropped him just because of that.
And so things like that really took me out of it. Like, and it was almost like pop culture references for the sake of having references, not necessarily content that I feel like the actual Gilmore Girls would be even into.
Yeah, like the original series.
I can see them making fun of Goop, making fun of Gwyneth Paltrow. Duh, that's so a Lorelai and Rory thing. They're petty as hell, and like everyone makes fun of Goop.
Yeah.
But like other things felt like, I don't know. I couldn't see them being really into it.
The kind of like literary and pop culture references they made in the original series, like a lot of them went over my head because I had no idea who the fuck Paul Anka was before this show.
Really? Yeah, and that dream was great.
Yeah, that him coming back was like, whoa, that was like a cool little throwback. I was like, hey, Paul Anka, like
fabulous throwback. That dream that she had.
But like it was things like that were like they did a lot of like old school literary throwbacks and like
classic movies, classic music.
Yeah, those were the kind of pop culture references they had, and then this one it's like Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Yelp, Uber, like all these different apps they just like thrown out the names for.
And like I knew that they were going to do stuff that was current, but I didn't think it was going to be like nothing that I felt would actually be something that they would be down for.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was kind of weird. And they also name drop celebrities. Like, I know they always name drop celebrities, but it was like in this, it was like the most. Yeah. Like Matthew McConaughey was named, and like I don't know. Though I loved the ongoing feud with Woodbury. Yeah, because that's just great.
Another joke that went on too long was when they were distributing the newspapers.
Yeah.
And like the whole East-West thing, that was just like one of those things that was like, why did this have to be that long? I
just want more scenes with like, because like the arguments that were had, like the scenes between Emily and Lorelai and the scenes between Lorelai and Luke, they were so compelling and there just weren't enough of them.
That's when I enjoyed the series.
That's when I was like, wow, I feel like this is, you know, A lot of people were saying that they felt misled by the trailers as well.
I really did, and like I thought the promotion of this series
I was like, they nailed it.
It was so good. They played the fucking song more in the promotional stuff than they did in the actual show.
Yeah. I thought that from the trailers and the Instagram account and
the Luke's
everything,
Diner thing
I was like,
they
fucking know exactly what their audience wants, and they're gonna nail this. And I just don't. I'm sure there are people that are like, yeah, they fucking nailed it, but I don't know. I just think that they missed a lot of things, and they definitely took some choices that were more to benefit like the crew, which like I understand, like they're a community of people, and I'm sure even the bunheads, binches like are involved, but like it just felt like a disservice to the plot and the fans to kind of waste our time on that shit. Like at the end of the day, this wasn't a bunheads reunion or a Parenthood reunion.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Winter, we see Lane and Hep Alien, but don't hear about their life now. What do you think they're doing? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they're in the band, and they say that Zach had some fucking job. I'm assuming he's like some like office job.
They mentioned that, and I was like, okay, we'll find out about that later.
And you
that
do
was
see
early
them
on.
like playing at the secret bar, but
yeah, that was like really it.
I'm just mad. Like the whole plot of her was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be a good mother, and then we don't even see her fucking interact with her kids. Like, what was the point of that?
Yeah.
Then I don't know. That was kind of upsetting. What do you think about the Dynasty makers? Is that what you imagine Paris to be doing?
Again, I mean, like, not specifically
not necessarily
that.
like fertility, but
I didn't know what I thought she was going to be doing. I had a couple.
I really thought she was going to be like headmaster of Chilton, just based off that door.
But it was cool that they got him back, like the headmaster. Like, that
and
was
he
great.
didn't age either. What the fuck was going on? Like they all had like some weird.
What are these people doing? Is it Hollywood? Like, is it like what is it?
I know. And yeah, someone was just kind of bringing up the plot about the Dragonfly and how would she need a loan from Emily if she can have all these famous chefs. And then someone was like, why is Katy Perry in Stars Hollow buying the nursing home to play poker with nuns? And it's like just weird shit where you like, I'm sorry, but like Stars Hollow is supposed to be like this tiny little speck on the radar, like the tiniest little town. Like it felt weird that they were trying to be like, oh yeah, like so many celebrities are here now. Like I'm sorry, it's not gonna I don't buy it.
Yeah,
you know, I felt like it was just weird, and like they're just throwing out names that people would fucking recognize. You know, like they're just like, we'll throw Katy Perry in this one. Like I don't know, it was just kind of fucking weird.
A little bit off.
All right, so I guess we'll wrap it up there. I think we've given enough opinions. This is like longer than a usual episode.
I know. So, I thought I wouldn't be able to fill a whole hour. Well, I kind of knew I would, but like I don't know, hour and 15 or whatever this is.
I definitely thought we had enough, but yeah. That was our thoughts. You can let us know what you thought in the comments on Reddit or like tweeting at us
or the contact form on our website.
Yeah, because we'd love to hear what everybody else thought.
Yeah, and let me know because I do like there is like a kind of like negative cloud over it. I feel, which really sucks. But what was your favorite thing about it? You know what I mean? Like, I want to know. I obviously want to know how your feelings are, but I also really want to know what was the part for you where like, oh yeah, this is Gilmore. For me, I think it was that, like, I don't know.
I feel like honestly, like the secret bar. That was just something.
That was the most like Gilmore feeling. Or when they were in the black and white theater and everyone was like
that too.
Having food and All right, so let's get into binge time. So thank you guys so much for listening. We don't have any coffee right now, but
no clinking. But we will see you guys on Thursday.
Yes,
clink.
All right, binges. We're gonna do what you guys are doing in Stars Hollow because we figured it made sense, and it'll probably be the last time we're doing this for a little while.
Oh my god!
Honestly, though, like
so sad.
I know. All right, so we're starting off with Nicole Dowling, who is downing a cup of coffee at Luke's, bitch.
Yeah, always. Sammy Jessam is just staring longingly through the window.
Kayla Harding is having a hard time coping with Rory's plot.
Alicia Schreiner is building a shrine to all of Kirk's past jobs.
Amazing. Bailey Lynn is bailing Rory out of jail.
Jackie Goldfarb is...
just all of the golden one-liners.
Oh my god.
Sloane Nolan is
saying no to this wild plot.
Yeah. Sarah Booth is Lorelai and Luke sitting in that little booth, and he's like, I'm all in.
Oh my god!
Allison Sense is sensing that Emily is going to move to Nantucket.
Hunter Curtis is...
that one Rory curtsy, and then Lorelai's like, did you just curtsy?
Megan Rackley is racking up
points playing DDR against Kirk at the arcade.
Kate Convery is having a gossip conversation with Babette and Miss Batty.
That's where I want to be. Taylor Collins is all of the phone calls, because so much plot happens on the phone in this show, throughout the whole series.
Emma Corbeil is rounding the corner into Stars Hollow. You're just coming in.
Heather Ann is answering phones at the Dragonfly Inn.
Sloane Fuller couldn't be fuller after having a delicious lunch from Suki.
Angelica Feliz is Luke when he has that little bit of hair gel in. He looks extra fine. You know what I'm saying?
Sylvia Ehrlichman Gross thinks that
Logan and Rory gross. Joni Dugan is jonesing for more depth of Lane's plot. Come on.
Yeah. Juanita Cara is so glad that Lorelai's car, the Jeep, was still in the revival.
Yeah, that was nice to see.
Yep.
Annie Wynn is Luke winning Lorelai's basket.
Danielle Manus is Taylor yelling for the new sewers that he wants to install.
Yeah, that was cute. Cassandra Lee is leaving all of this behind and is just going to watch 1 through 7.
Emma Nygren is Lorelai out at night when she's like, I smell snow.
Oh, yeah, that in the beginning, by the way, was just so fucking random.
That was really
there was already snow on the ground. I was just like, this is a yikes for me. Courtney Hall is...
Michelle running down the hall of the Dragonfly Inn yelling to Lorelai.
Doing something. Becca Jansen is beckoning for... Miss Patty to come over here and look at this guy's tush.
Angela Sue is
Suki eating dirt. Apparently, that was her plot. She was out in the woods eating dirt.
Yeah, that was a little confusing.
I was very confused as to what was happening.
Michelle North is
the north side of Stars Hollow.
Yeah, because we got the east and the west. Yeah. Erin Bray is bravely getting International Grab Bag Night at Alice Pancake World.
Not enough Al Pancake.
I don't think there was Alice Pancake.
Jada Goshi is going to the dance.
I was going to say that whaling museum to see Emily.
Yo, I would love to see her do something like that.
Yeah.
Maya Elizabeth is thinking, my oh my, have they fucked up Jess for life?
Ishbel Mendez is Lorelai and Luke breaking that bell.
Oh, I love that.
Was such a great plot.
Talia Miller is having a nice tall order of French fries at Luke's binge.
Kat Vallejos is Cinnamon the cat.
Rip. Margarita is marching in a Stars Hollow parade.
Avery Labelson is...
everyone's favorite character, Kirk.
Daisy Blossom Dottie is...
the 1,000 Yellow Daisies.
Oh.
Where was Max Medina?
Wow,
You got every single person Rory has ever looked at, and then no Medina. Upsetting.
How very rude.
Okay. Emily Lewis is me
Emily.
Losing my mind over that. And also Emily.
Chloe Archer is wondering where the
arch / Hoopa.
Yes.
Was.
Where is that?
Anthony Hood is...
oh my god, is Taylor, when he's got his hood on, sulking around one of the festivals, making sure everything's okay.
Mariah Hanna is lending a handa to one of the booths at the Harvest Festival.
Elizabeth Holbrook is many of the plot holes that have occurred during the revival.
I know. Not that there weren't any in the real show, too.
Yeah.
Jennifer Habgood is thinking it was pretty good, but there were some things you were upset about. It's fine.
Madison Greer is...
mad that Mrs. Kim only got one line.
I know.
I love Mrs. Kim.
Madison Wolfe is...
me wolfing down a fucking platter of Danishes. Dani
No.
at Luke's.
Megan McNally is taking a gander at Mrs. Patty's
dance studio.
Dance recital.
Skylar Medley is looking up to the sky and saying, "I smell toots." Megan Prius is also Rory's Prius. Did that come back?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, you're just forever in our heart. There. Megan Prius is Rory's Prius. Like,
yes,
it's just, you go hand in hand.
Corey Springfield is the spring episode.
Wow, crazy. Ilka is crazy obsessed with Kirk's new enterprise. Jax is Jackson getting a 3-second cameo.
Oh my god. Nicole Allen is...
The secret bar was kind of like in an alley.
Oh.
So that's a fact.
Yes.
Next. Courtney White is all the white people that are on this show. They really... Yeah. Bridget Carey Davis.
Is everybody doing the knitting for the bridge?
Yes. I know what you mean.
I was going to say bridge revival, but like it's bridge construction.
Jennifer Cornwell is all the corniness that was that fucking musical.
Sophia Cock is getting cocky because they have seen all of the films that Kirk shows at Black, White, and Red.
Ash Roselle is a rosy lipstick called Vicious Trollop.
Oh my god.
Jackie Burkhart is
everybody breaking my heart with Richard's death.
Oh man. Oh, I loved the painting. I thought that was really
that was
classic
a funny
Gilmore
little
humor.
joke. Yeah.
Okay, Beth Fonseca is me needing to watch this a second time.
Jackie Bergiulio is
Bridge
is the DIR ladies playing bridge.
I had a straight up malfunction. Bridge. I'm just saying it. Christina Contreras is...
Contrary to popular opinion, she enjoyed this.
I mean, I did too. I'm just saying, I have a lot of feelings.
Yes.
Catherine Simpson is simply unsure of where the Lalas were for most of it.
Marlene Naj is
leaning towards being more Team Dean now because he's not a flop ass.
Ian Murphy is feeling a little bit murky after staying up for 6 straight hours to watch this.
Same, Ian. Rebecca O'Donnell is ordering food to eat while watching.
Yes.
To eat while.
Kendall Berg is probably some iceberg lettuce that Jackson's growing in his greenhouse. Allie McGregor is commenting on how gorgeous Emily is after all of these years.
Honestly, Emily is the hottest binge.
Yeah, she is so fucking hot.
Megan Grilly is... Babette and Maury Grilling.
Yeah.
Like their little snacks.
Yep. Chloe Killip
is closing the door on the Gilmore Girls chapter and opening a new one into another show.
Something else. Taco Roach.
Probably a Pop-Tart stuffed taco.
Oh.
Cassandra Buckout is...
getting out of Woodbury and heading over to Stars Hall because it sounds like a lot of fun.
Haley Cadwalder is hailing from Woodbury and has decided to move to Stars Hollow because of its charm.
Camellia Mulkey is Emily buying out the mall, basically.
The apples. Maddie Pullman is the polar opposite of Rory and...
has stable relationships with no cheating.
I guess, yes. Amanda Marie is manning the kitchen as a guest chef at the Dragonfly.
Yes. Allison Francois is frankly impressed by how many people came back for this.
Seriously, I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Caitlin Whalen is the whale that Emily is giving a lot of information about.
Cody Robinson is Emily robbing the show as the top Gilmore girl.
Yeah, absolutely. Lauren Chavone is shivering in the big fridge section of the Gilmore kitchen.
Oh. Sarah Seaman is...
seemingly impressed with the replica of Luke's diner.
Dana Daly is stopping into Luke's Daily for a cup of coffee to go.
Megan Wilson is willing to give their whole life for more episodes.
Claire Wood is loving the wood paneling that's inside the dragonfly. I like that classic charm.
Yeah. Megan, it's crazy how they made it like it didn't change at all in like 10 years. Kelly Adams is adding up the amount of times they make pop culture references in the whole series. I bet someone is
an undertaking. Anna Hernandez is desperate to know what happens after the final 4 words.
Jenna Gordonier is near the end of times because they just wanted to know who wrote the letter.
Sarah is scared that we're not going to get any more answers on any of the things that we have questions about.
I honestly feel like it's like Lost, but different. I am Lost also. Vlyn and Drew are one of those violins coming in, you know, just coming in hot on the music there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Bridget Dubin is binging the whole series like so many of us did.
Hillary Gay is not happy with that gay scene.
Yeah.
That was just weird.
Very weird.
Mackenzie Knight loved the way they lit up Stars Hollow at night for the wedding. That was very pretty.
And Rachel Evans is eventually going to start watching Gilmore Girls in general.
Honestly, it's still, like, besides what we said, like, honestly, it's still good. And I think the more I watch the revival, the more I will be, like, chill about it. And
I'm just, like, shocked.
There's definitely shit that I don't think should have went down, but that's fine.
The other binches, what are they doing in Stars Hollow?
They are
at the Secret Bar. I just love that so much.
I know, me too.
Drinking that
Probably one of my favorite things that was new.
Yeah.
All right, we got Rebecca Edmondson,
Ashley Riefenberger,
Mallory,
Stephanie Oliver,
Allie Malone,
Kathleen Wynn,
and Rose Barnett.
All right, thank you guys so much.
Wow, I can't believe it. If you don't even watch Gilmore Girls and you are listening to this right now, like,
you're a trooper.
How you doing? What's up?
Next episode will be about other things.
Back to our normal shit and the Fantastic Beast opinions, definitely. Because there's a couple of things that people are theorizing and shit. Plus, we all have to talk about Grindelwald.
Yeah, definitely.
Fucker. But yeah.
So, again, we'll see you guys on Thursday, and thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.
That was a HeadGum podcast.